Oh, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this episode we're dropping today. Okay, now if you picked up on the video we did over the weekend, might have been yesterday, memory escapes me, sorry. You'll have heard at the beginning I was a little bit disgruntled about how sudden this whole phase 3 thing was dropped on us. When you kind of outline your strategy to maximise a bonus, and when the goalposts get changed, it can unsettle how you've laid your portfolio out and any kind of strategy you might have in front of you. Okay, now don't get me wrong, getting 10% on your net buys is much better than getting 5%, of course. Okay, so then I've spent a lot of time analysing my transactions, where positions are sitting, and bearing in mind that the 5% for that phase 2 is now locked in. That will be coming to us at the end of the promotional phase on the 1st of July, I think. Okay, so what I then started doing was try to wrap my brain around how can I make that bonus that's set work for me now, in terms of helping me release some equity and moving it into other positions that I can try and capitalise on the phase 3. Okay, so I'll show you the portfolio. Okay, so we've got a few guys up for sale now. And basically what I've done, guys, is I've looked at my transaction history, and if we go all the way back to the 1st of May when phase 2 started, 1st of May. Okay, so 1st of May, right? Okay, so we start making some deposits and picking some players up. Okay, Douglas Luiz is in a good position. We don't really want to be touching him. Koulibaly's been backwards recently and is not really in a position to be liquidated at this point. We buy some Alaba, we buy some Brandt, we buy some Oblak, which later turns into De Gea, and then we start getting some dividends off a lot of guys. Brandt, Depay, Brandt, deposits. And you can see that I'm not going to walk you through everyone. We did a little bit of trading with Son on the Champions League semi-final. We bought some Werner with that money. So basically what I'm looking at is the players that I've acquired in phase 2, okay? You can see the De Gea's, the All Blacks out and the De Gea's in starts to happen here. Felix and a few others. So what I started to look at, there's Ford Depay. And then I'm measuring that up against the price I bought them at, okay? The price I can sell them at today. Did they earn me dividends, which all these people pretty much did, and then we get to the 21st, that's the beginning of phase 3 here, okay? And then I'm trying to weigh up, so I've got these players, Alaba, Brandt, Depay, all made as dividends, okay? So they've all pulled their weight in that sense. Brandt is went backwards in price, but with the amount he's earned us in dividends and with the 5% lock-in we've got on him already, that profit and loss you see there of minus 8% a share is kind of negated by what's locked in already. The dividends have been paid for and the dividends are yet to come our way. So these people are now in positions of profit that are guaranteed, are locked in, even though like Brandt, for example, is minus 15 pence a share on the face of it. The money I've earned from him in terms of dividends already and the 5% that's locked in, it balances out quite nicely. Alaba is in a position of profit, Depay is in a position of profit, and De Gea is in a position of profit, okay? So what we're now looking to do is release some of that funds to then trade again in phase 3 with them, okay? So if you look at the bottom of the portfolio, when we sold like Werner and Felix, on the same principle, they'd made a little bit of money, we'd locked in the 5% profit already. We're then looking to try and flip that money over into players that we can buy low and sell high in phase 3 and try and make the most of this promotion here, okay? So I just wanted to drop this little video for you as a kind of little ad hoc one. If you're kind of sitting on a lot of stuff now that you've been holding through phase 1 maybe, and phase 2 in particular, because this has just been dropped on us, is it's a really good opportunity to evaluate where you're at now and understand that you've got profit locked in. Because one thing that you need to be fearful of, and I say that word deliberately, is when we get to the 1st of July, for example, or on the 1st of July pretty much, that the market will dump, the market will crash. We're going through before the phase 3 was announced, the market cap that you can see there, it's basically 94,000. We couldn't really get past 91,000 once we got into phase 2. The market really stagnated, and they've now really stimulated it with this whole phase 3 thing going back to 10% and everything as well. So you need to make sure you're locking in some profit early on. You're banking that, because it's kind of like The Weakest Link. You remember that TV show? Where you're answering questions and there's 10 of you and somebody's got to say bank or you lose the chain. We're really in that kind of situation right now. If you're rolling with your portfolio and the market is growing, so with the exception of somebody like a Koulibaly or a Brandt, you know, and you don't need me to explain their situation, what's happened recently, you'll know that yourself, but with the exception of people like that who have real life situations changing their price, everyone else is kind of growing because the market is incentivized. Everything is basically, with the 10% bonus, the way a lot of people will be looking at it is everything's got a 10% discount on it because you're getting paid 10% back on all your net buys. So then when that ceases to end, then a lot of people, I imagine and I forecast, there will be significant dumping, you know, on the 1st of July, 2nd of July, that type of time, you know. So if you're not banking profit early and you're moving things in a safer position, then come that time there, you're really vulnerable on some of these players that will just be floating high on, you know, no real concrete reason for growth. You know, when the market, you know, that shutdown happens, fair enough, we've got media madness, so if you've got media magnets, they're probably the least likely to feel anything. Your guys like Messi, Ronaldo, Hazard, Neymar, De Ligt, Kane, all these guys you see up and about here, the media magnets are not going to be as affected by this, I imagine. But who is going to be affected by this is especially your squad players that you see flying up like 50 pence over a week and 40 pence and, you know, all these crazy numbers that you've seen recently. You know, these guys that take massive spikes for no real reason are the most vulnerable to be dumped after because they're spread. Because think about it like this, right? So last kind of point I'll make, if you've got $100,000 portfolio, and you and me both know on Twitter there's plenty of those people, right? Look at the spread on these players that are cheaper. The spread is so minimal. It's very advantageous to be trading in and out of these players. Oh, Kovalenko was at 30p. He was on the watch list in the people's portfolio for a week, and I thought, nah, oh, Jesus, that's disappointing. Anyway, so these are the ones that are the most vulnerable to be dropped off and dumped at the end of this, because they don't really have any market, they don't have any real reason, they don't have any, the best way to put it is they don't have a yield track record of earning dividends and all that warrants the price hikes that they're getting now. It's a lot of people pumping money into them to get that 10% discount in essence, and then, you know, if you get 10% banked, you're going to lose 2% on commission, but even then, if you lose 2% on spread, you're still going to be, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7% up, depending on the actual numbers of it all, you know. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, guys. I'm going to take a breath and stop. I hope you can understand what I'm saying here, okay? So you need to protect your money, okay? And you need to be thinking ahead of time what's going to happen when the crash happens. And it might not be massive, guys, but I promise you, whatever the market cap is the day before this promotion ends, the next day afterwards, it will certainly go backwards by a margin, you know, that is yet to be determined, but it will be fairly significant, okay? So you need to protect your portfolio, guys. You need to protect your money. Assess the positions you're sitting in right now. Are they in profit? Have you also banked 5% additional profit on them? And is that a good position to, and as you can see here with these guys, I'm just releasing little bits of them because I still have a reason to hold them, and you guys can watch other videos if you want to know why I'm holding them. I'm quite self-explanatory, and I try and show you everything ahead of time. What a lot of other guys, blogs, podcasts, whatever, they would do this kind of thing and then tell you about it a month down the road, and then you'd be sitting there thinking, oh, you could have, brilliant pal, you could have told me that at the time. You know, I'm always trying to help you out. I'm always trying to look out for you. If I spot anything that I think is worth highlighting, share it with the masses, okay? So if I've missed something here, guys, if there's a flaw in this little strategy that I've devised, please comment below. If you agree with this or you see merit in it, again, please comment below and let me know what you think. If you're new around here, guys, like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble. I hope this finds you well, and I hope it helps you make some money, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.